Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome again to another Man Translation. We are live. Do y'all know that this show is live every Sunday? No cuts, no edit. We are live. Welcome. Tonight we're going to be talking about understanding the dynamics of attachment style attractions. We're still talking about those attachments, but this time we're going to be talking about how you attract which ones attract to you, because it's really important. I get that question a lot. So I'm Sky C. I'm the producer. This is something that I came up with just to bridge the gap of communication between men and women, because we don't understand, we don't comprehend, we don't have the same perceptions, but perception should not cause a division. A perception is, you see one thing, I see something different. Doesn't mean that you're right and I'm wrong and I'm right and you're wrong. It means it's just that we see differently. So instead of bringing it together and bridging the gap, we kind of allow it to divide us and break us apart. So tonight, Dante V, he will be on. He's our relationship strategist. He'll be on later. So I wanted to talk to you, and while we're waiting for him to come, I wanted to talk to you because I make these observations. I pray about this stuff. And one of the things that I notice is that people don't understand that you control your own thoughts. No one controls your thoughts. You control your own thoughts. And I hear people say, you made me feel. Well, you made me feel like this, and you made me feel like that. Well, I didn't make you feel like anything. I don't have anything, I don't have any control about how you feel. So I want to break down a little background before we get into the subject matter, because how you process your experiences is important. We all go through traumatic, we all go through, traumatizing situations. What might be traumatizing to you may not be traumatizing to someone else. It might just be a piece of cake. It could just be anything. It's not always, as being essayed or, domestic violence. Trauma comes in a lot of different shapes, sizes, and forms. And depending on, who you are, you can say something to me and it not bother me at all, but then you can say something to somebody else and they will just crumble like a cookie. And so I wanted to really just kind of share that you are in control of your thoughts. Okay, you're in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts control your emotions. There's a strong connection between thoughts and emotions. The way that we interpret and perceive situations influences our responses. Hey, Dante.
What's going on?
And
Computer
so,
went through 1,000 updates. I'm like, okay.
for real, this is Dante C. I wanted to just kind of share, I just wanted to kind of share about thoughts and the connection between emotions and how we process our experiences. Because how we process experiences is going to affect our perceptions. So your thoughts, you control your thoughts and your emotions. There's a strong, and I know people will be like, no, I can't. I can't control my thoughts. Yes, you can. You control which thoughts you believe. Thoughts control the emotions that you feel. So what happens is somebody says something, you have a thought. That thought triggers an emotion. And whatever emotion comes up is going to determine what's going on inside of you. So nobody can make you feel anything. You are in control of your thoughts, and your thoughts are in control of your emotions. So emotions control which actions you take. Your actions are going to drive your results. And your results, that's what causes your feelings to feel whatever way or another way. Your feelings is they're just like little receptors. They're just giving you information. They're not to for you to make the whole decision based on how you feel. I always say your feelings are unstable. One day you might feel one way, tomorrow you might feel another way. Your feelings are fickle. They're very fickle. So your emotions serve as a valuable signal about your inner state, what's going on inside of you. They provide insights into your thoughts, your needs, and your reactions to certain situations. So at the end of the day, we have to seek to understand our own emotions. Why am I feeling this way? Why is it that what they said triggered this emotion, but why? We live in a cause and effect world. It's not just about the cause, it's about it's the effect and the cause. So sometimes, a lot of times when things happen, I read my own emotions. I'll be like, now, why did that bother me? And once I get to the end of understanding that emotion, then that I grow from that because I learn from that. So I grow from that. And the reason I wanted to preface this tonight was because most of these attachment styles, they're toxic. These are not the way relationships are supposed to go. These are relationships that are people that are broken that are attracting other broken people. But these are not the way that relationships are supposed to go. So before we can get to what kind of attachment styles we have, we got to start controlling our thoughts. And we have to start examining and understanding our own emotions. So, yes. So put that in your pipe and smoke on that a little bit. What's up, Dante?
Not much.
You just got
Not
home?
much. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was already home.
Mm-mm. Be out doing things. The crazy part about the working world is we only get a weekend. We only get like 2 days, and you got to cram all your personal stuff within that time frame, and then you got to do stuff for yourself. Like it's a sad reality, but that's where we are with life.
So tonight we're going to be talking about understanding the dynamics of secure of attachment style attractions. I wanted Dante to go a little bit deeper because these attachment styles, number one, they're not normal. They're very dysfunctional. I wanted y'all to know they're very dysfunctional. This is not the way relationships are supposed to go. But you need to recognize them so that we can fix them. So we can fix them because we want to be.
A lot of us didn't have functional upbringings, and this is a result of such,
Well,
unfortunately.
again, that's why we're going to learn how to process our upbringings. We're going to process it, a different way. We're going to process it in a more, in a way that everything is not so carried internally. So we're going to process it differently. And then we're going to teach our children to process it differently because it's all about how you process your upbringing, how you process your experiences, how you process the things that people say to you. Michael Jackson, they interviewed brothers brothers, when they talked about Joe Jackson, because he had this reputation for being, tough and all of that. But Michael was the only sensitive one. It didn't affect the other brothers the way that affected Michael. The other brothers was like, we understood that our dad, was trying to discipline us and instill in us a work ethic and all of that. But Michael crumbled like a cookie. He did not really forgive his dad. He didn't come to an understanding of that until the end of his life, where he eventually forgave his dad. But the other brothers and the sisters, they processed it totally different. When they interviewed Janet, when she talked about her dad, and they interviewed Reby, they interviewed pretty much all of them about their upbringing. And they all processed it differently. It's how you process what you go through, whether it's your upbringing whether it's in a relationship. How are you processing it? Something that might not bother you will bother somebody else. Something that might not be traumatic to you will be traumatic to somebody else. So, we have to really learn how to really be in touch with our own thoughts and our own emotions.
Yeah, but the whole Mike thing, given the story, like he was harder on Mike, but also Mike was the lead. Like nobody gave it. Like who was buying Reeby's album? Who listened to Centipede?
Okay, that's not the point.
This is true, and for the most part, when it comes down to fathers to daughters, they don't really beat their daughters. Janet just had it in her. I mean, but to go off of that, yes, it does come down to a point where it's like he probably took it harder, just off the strength of I ain't doing this to everybody else. Like, why am I the one that's the target, if you will? Not saying that he was a target because I'm not Mike. I didn't live in that household. I'm only going off of the American Dream video movie that we've all seen 1,000 times. But it did seem like not only did he catch it from home, he was getting bullied too.
But see, Michael wasn't when the group first started. Michael wasn't in the group. Remember, Michael is closer to him. Him and Randy are closer in age. Michael wasn't in the group when the group first started. See, I grew up with them. Michael wasn't in the group yet. So Michael wasn't getting spanked when they was getting spanked. Michael wasn't even. I don't even think he was born yet. So Michael wasn't in the group yet when they got in. When he became the lead of the group, he was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. But the group had already been going on before Michael was a part. He had to beg his father to become a part of the group because he was so young. So because he
Right,
was
but again, him being
part of the
treated,
group.
the way that he's been treated, affected how he grew up in the relationships that he had, or the weird ones that he had, because we don't know what was going on with him and Bubbles. But all right,
So we got a lot to cover. So we're gonna be talking about the attachment styles and the attractions. What kind of people are attracted to these styles? Now the goal is healthy relationships. That's the goal, to have
uh-huh.
secure, healthy relationships. So we're gonna start out with the positive, and then we're gonna have so you can be able to recognize the other ones. But the goal is to have secure attachments and to go. Sometimes you may have to go and reprocess because you're older, you got more information, you know more, you live more, you learn more, and you should have more understanding. Because once you go through the healing process, you're not going to attract broken people to you anymore. The only
No,
broken people you're going to attract to you is people that you need to help. And you don't want to have a relationship with people you're supposed to be doing ministry with. So it'll change as you process different. So the first one is secure attachment. They're drawn to other secure individuals. They're comfortable with intimacy. Secure attachers are confident in relationships and trust their partners.
yeah, heavy on that secure. They're secure individuals, and they respect autonomy. I think that is the thing that is often missed when we're talking about relationships: autonomy and individuality. You had your friends beforehand. You had a life before you met me. Continue to do so. Yes, I will incorporate you in things and you will incorporate me in things, but at the end of the day, if you're going to go out, go hang out with your friends, go. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be honest. A person is going to do whatever they want to do, whether you know about it or not. Being able to deal with that, process that's a different story, but bearing down somebody's throat every 5 minutes to make sure they are where they say they are. Like, no, allow people to, I want to have my fun and you do whatever you gonna do. Whether you in the house, you want to relax and so on and so forth, do that. But at the end of the day, you have to respect the fact that people had a life before you. Don't now again? I tell people, when I was in a relationship, like, hey, when it's hot outside, don't touch me. It's hot. I don't do heat well at all. I'm very comfortable with intimacy. It's who I am. But at the end of the day, if it's hot, listen, I don't want nobody sweating on me.
But it
Like,
says
you know,
trust. They trust their partners. It says they trust.
yes. Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, you really don't have a choice. Like, I'm either going to, because you're not proving me to be a liar, you're proving yourself to be a liar. It comes down to being honest, having vulnerability, and having transparency. Those things are key. Be where you say you're going to be at. Let's be wherever you said you're going to be at. If something changes, that's the transparency. Hey, hey, we didn't go to such and such. We went here, and because club was crazy. It was out there shooting, so we went across town. But like, just ain't nobody gonna get upset, and if they do, that's a reflection on them. That's their emotion. Like, okay, let's be real. Okay, you can't manage other people's emotions. You can only manage your own. What I do with the information that's given to you, like that's on you. If I trust you and you trust me, how the trust is supposed to be, and I'm giving you said information, and now you get mad at me for being honest with you. Now, granted, if something went left, you still have to respect the fact that I'm being honest, I'm being open, I'm being vulnerable. I mean, nothing short of being disrespected. That's a different story. But trust is one of those things where it's going to happen, whether you want to micromanage and be over somebody's shoulder, hiding out in bushes, making sure they are where they say they are. No, I got some crazy friends. Like that's, you're wasting your time. No, I said I'm going to be here. I trust the fact you're going to be here. If anything changes and you need me to do whatever, oh, you can shoot me a text, or just my whole thing is, for me, let me know you're safe. Let me know you're amongst people who give a damn about you. And if something go down, I would hope that you call me so I can do whatever needs to be done. But that trust part, you kind of have no choice. Because them, sometimes you're telling yourself, because you not trusting them really more has to do with your insecurity and the things that you either are doing or been through, and not what they're doing. People say, oh, I pay attention to patterns and this and that. Well, sometimes the patterns will be a little off. Just because it looks like one thing doesn't necessarily it's going in that direction. And once it goes in that direction, you have a choice. You're going to stay here or you're going to leave. You want to talk about it, we're not going to talk about it. Your relationship is something.
What about if you're too trusting?
That has nothing to do with that. Me being too trusting is literally giving you the rope, and you do with it what you will. You're going to jump with it, you're going to hang with it, or you're just going to leave it alone.
Normally they hang.
That's a reflection of you. And I know, and I know it's rough, and I know it's hard, just off the strength of, some of us, you'll see a future with that person, and you'll start planning subliminally things with that person in the future. And now it's like, you one of them. And it's just hard to let go. It's hard to walk away. But no, at that point, this, all right, you wasn't ready for me. Okay.
The anxious preoccupied attachment is drawn to avoidant individuals. They crave closeness and fear abandonment, often seeking reassurance from avoidant partners, which can lead to a challenging cycle. So the anxious preoccupied is drawn to the avoidant.
Mm-hmm. Because literally opposites attract. And that's rough. Because you have the avoidant who doesn't really want to, they don't really want to tap into a couple things. And a lot of them don't like, hey, I'm comfortable in this space and I'm going to be in this space. And the anxious person who just wants that reassurance. Now, again, reassurance is something that's going to happen in all relationships. I repeat, all relationships. I just want to make sure you ate, just make sure you're okay, just make sure you're alive, you're still breathing, just checking up on a person. But I'm not checking up on you every 10 minutes. If you're sick, maybe, but 10 minutes is very drastic. I'm going to check up on you. I'm going to make sure you're okay. I'm going to make sure you're all right. I want to know how your day is. I want to know certain things. But again, It's not every 5 minutes. Reassurance is okay. Stalking is not. Oh, I sent you a text 5 minutes ago, but I saw that you was on social media. That's common. Let me explain something. When you send somebody a text, they're going to get back to you at their leisure. A lot of like they're not like a lot of people. They have stuff going on. They have lives. They got. Hey, I'm gonna get back. It would be nice if we got that text like, "Hey, I'm a little busy. I hit you back a little later on when I'm not so preoccupied, or the case may be." But that anxious attachment, that anxious attachment gonna wear your ass out. And it gets to a point where the anxious attachment or preoccupied is asking for all these different things that the avoidant has to now tap into that they don't feel comfortable tapping into because it's a weird spot for them that they begin to just run away or they begin to back away because it's like this is unnecessary work. Like why do I gotta do this? Why do I gotta respond to every text message that you send, every 5 minutes that you send it? Like, hey dog, just go ahead and go your way. This ain't gonna work.
The dismissive avoidant attachment is drawn to the anxious individual. They prefer independence and may distance themselves from emotionally intense situations, which can trigger anxiety in their partner. And that's what I just keep saying. I just keep seeing people that don't know how to process their own emotions.
Right. That dismissive avoidant is not going to tap into that because they don't know how. A lot of this stuff comes from upbringing. It's not like they just got older. It's like, you know what? F feelings. I don't have to deal with it, so I won't. No, they don't know how to process because it's been that dismissive nature was literally instilled in them when they went to their mother or their father with this issue. And it's just like, oh, you'll be all right. I mean, the classic black family, classic, not all. You go, you go to your parent and say, "I'm depressed." Boy, go depress them damn dishes. That's dismissive.
Go
And then
look, go
that,
get some Robitussin.
and you sitting there drinking the rope till this ain't gonna do nothing. Like the issue isn't addressed; it gets dismissed. So now it's like when I am feeling depressed or when I am feeling a little off, I'm gonna go do some dishes because that supposedly is the thing that works, but I can't talk about it to anybody because it's been dismissed. So because you don't really know how to adjust feelings per se, now here you are, you're older, and you're trying to be in this relationship, and they love you and they express that, and you're looking at them like, so what we about to eat?
Parents
What we
don't
doing
deal,
today?
parents don't that's one of the areas that parents don't deal with. You know, when I kind of look back at my parenting and raising parents, we focus on like for me, I focused on spiritual, you know, that you have a relationship with God, and your physical, you know, that you're not being essayed and you're not being, you know, beat, you know, and bringing somebody in to beat you. And we focus more on, you know, making sure you're fed, you have clothes, you have a bed to sleep in, you have a house to live in. Parents are not really focused on teaching their children how to process their emotions
Mm,
at
no,
all.
no, but it is one of those things where, given the environment, if certain things would have been addressed, then they would have probably figured things out. Like, not I'm not talking about you, just speaking in general. If if the love was there, if hugs were there, or if conversations about serious topics were actually addressed at that time, like that's building the foundation of okay, I can talk about this or I can express this rather than you know boy go outside scrape his knee and he get told to walk it off. Men don't cry, men don't do this, men don't do that, men don't show emotion. So now they get older, and the emotional intelligence of a man isn't there. You weren't allowed to express that because men don't do this, men don't do that, and it's like it gets to a point where it's like men just become robots, and you're a functioning adult. But when it comes to your relationship, there's a lot of things lacking. Yeah, you look great on paper. You got the 6-figure job, you got the benefits, you got this, and all the material things. But when it comes down to it, I can't talk to you about my emotions because it's a weird spot for you. You don't know how to address and or deal.
Mm. Fearful avoiding attachment. They're drawn to a variety of attachment styles, but relationships can be challenging. Experience both anxiety and avoidance, struggling with the desire for closeness. And I guess I ran out of letters.
Because it's for them, the fearful avoidant, it comes down to the hot and cold game. Because if I come in and I'm too close, yes, I like it here, but I don't want to get too attached because I feel like you're gonna leave. So I'm over here and I'm all affection and I'm doing this, and it's like your mental starts to mess with you, your past relationship starts to mess with you, and now it's the thing of let me back up a little bit. Let me just go over here. And it's like mentally they don't know how to deal. But it's like, hey, one minute you were cool, and we was over here chilling, cuddling, and everything was great, and then the next minute it's like, all right, get your stuff, get out. Like, what is it? Like, it really is that hot and cold. Like, there is a thing of they don't know what to do, and they're genuinely stuck. Like, they're in their own way. They know that they're in their own way, but they don't know how to address the fact that they're in their own way.
Wow. That's really interesting that all of these toxic, and I think it's something that really needs to be talked about. It's really not a subject you really hear a lot of people even talk about or even
Uh-uh.
deal with. I didn't even know it was so many different attachment styles. I'm looking trying to find which one I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I think for me, I've always processed, and I think it's maybe women. Like we kind of process our emotions. We kind of because women are more emotional. So we kind of
Yes.
deal with our emotions and we kind of live in emotional land, especially when we're young. Ambivalent attachment is drawn to inconsistent or unpredictable partners, display a mix of anxious and avoidant traits, leading to uncertainty and difficulty establishing trust. And these are all things that women deal with. Like men are exhibiting all of these things, and women are taking it as that, oh, they just don't want to be with me, or like they're really
They,
reading.
they don't know how. It's almost one of those things where it's like if you, for example, the one time I had a soft shell crab. Now, granted, I'm here in
It was,
Maryland, and they,
it was pride.
yeah,
Hey,
of course it was,
Kyra.
of course it was right. Um, it was one of those things where I didn't know how to actually. I want this, but I didn't know how to eat it. And the concept of eating an entire crab, now granted, it's been cleaned and all the other good stuff, but for me mentally, I can't get around it to be like, I'm really about to eat an entire like where's the others like where's the stuff like am I gonna eat a bone what is like all the stuff is going through my mind. I mean I ate it, but
Crabs don't
when it
have
comes,
bones.
I mean no, I mean a shell or whatever the case may be. But it's like when they get into these relationships, it's like yes they want it, but at the end of the day, it's like how do I stay in it? How do I stay active? And it's like that's when that anxiety builds up and that doubt creeps in, and now you either overperforming or underperforming, but you're not yourself. So if you're, this whole inconsistent, unpredictable behavior, again, all this stuff comes from when you're a child, and you just think that that lifestyle is okay because that's what's been given. You know, to give the classic example of, your daddy said he coming and he'll never come, or he only show up on holidays. That's inconsistent, unpredictable behavior. So now here we are. It's like, oh, because you love your father, you love your dad, you grow up, and these are just the things that you accept because it was exhibited and given to you. So it's like, I'm so happy that you're here. Hey, dog, why you ain't come when I was, you know, when I was 4 years old, 6 years old, whatever the case may be. So it's like when you get older, it's like, yes, I'm excited to see you. Yeah, you're here, but it's like, why you lied to me about such and such? And it does become that I'm happy to see you, but we got some business or we got some things we need to discuss. And sometimes they don't even get discussed because if I bring it up, there's a chance that you're going to leave. So now I got to hold it in. I got to suppress it.
And women ain't got a clue. Women don't have a clue what be going on. They just in the relationship and wondering why they can't get close to this person, or why the person won't open up and talk to them. They're not emotionally available. These men that are not emotionally available because they never learned how to process their emotions. Secure, anxious attachment. They're drawn to secure or anxious partners. Blend secure and anxious features, seeking closeness while still having confidence in themselves and their relationship. So why is it this one the only one that's drawn to the same?
Because the anxious, again, it's one of those things where it's like you're coming out of being anxious and leaning more towards secure, but you're not fully out of the anxious yet. So you have that blend. You have that, hey, it's like you're in a halfway house. You did your time, but now it's like now you got to kind of prove yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna be back on the other side again. So that secure anxious, like you have the best of. I can't say the best of both, but you literally have both. But you're lean, but you're coming out. Otherwise, you would just be an anxious attachment, and you'll be drawn to a fearful, avoidant, disorganized, or whatever the case may be, because they literally attract each other. The anxious is going to chase, and chasing is not good. Pursuing is what you want, because if you're pursuing something, that person should be pursuing each other, not chasing. Because if you're chasing somebody, they running.
Most of the time people are not dealing with, people know that they dealt with things in their childhood, but people are not really doing a deep dive into how that's affecting them as adults. So they really kind
Hmm.
of walk around really unaware. And that's one of the things that we do on this show, is to bring awareness. You have to bring awareness to your own emotion. That's what accountability is. No one can hold you accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable. Accountability means ownership, and accountability is a financial word. It means to reconcile. So there's
Hmm.
some things outstanding. When you do your bank statement, you get your checkbook, and you have to reconcile,
Hmm.
and then you got some checks that didn't clear yet. You're waiting for them to come in so you can know what your true balance is. That's what accountability is. You have some things that you have not reconciled within yourself. And if you don't reconcile those things within yourself, and then you're trying to be in a relationship with someone, it's going to end up being toxic. So now whatever dysfunction you were brought up in, you're going to now carry it over into this new relationship, and 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work.
Nope.
Secure avoidant attachment, drawn to secure and avoidant partners, possess secure and avoidant characteristics, valuing independence while also forming stable connections. Secure
Same thing.
avoidant, secure avoidant.
So that again, that avoidant part is still there, but you're coming over on the secure side. So generally, I mean, they can recognize the secure. It's like you recognize and you know what you need, but you're not fully there yet. You're not all the way there yet, but you're working towards it. So it's like the secure part, of course, is the good part. That secure avoidant, it just shows that you're working your way out of that avoidant. You know what you need. You're working towards it. Um, some of those things, because the avoidant, they're always about their independence. They're always about their individuality. Um, as far as forming the stable connections, yes, that's always going to be a thing, but also addressing things as they come up, especially when it comes down to emotions and feelings.
I think I might be a secure avoidant. I've been trying to figure out which one I am. I think I might, because I value my autonomy and my independence, but I also have secure connections with people too. Um, I don't have a lot of toxic relationships presently. Presently, because I think once you go through the healing process, you attract different people in your life. Once you start dealing with all of this stuff, you start to move up and you start to attract a different kind of people. You don't
Yeah,
attract.
it starts at one. It starts to get recognized. Like, What you would attract before, what you would attract before, would be the opposite, or the person that mirrors you.
Mm,
That's the thing.
yeah, because a lot of these do seem to be to mirror,
Yeah,
but see,
because you generally
mirror,
attract. Go ahead.
but mirror is not good because we're supposed to be glass. Glass is
Mhm.
transparent. Whenever you have a mirror situation, there's darkness on the other side. That's what makes a mirror. A mirror has darkness on the other side. We're supposed to be transparent. So we have to remove all of these dark traits, all of these dark traits that we have, whether we picked them up in childhood or wherever they came from. We don't want a mirror. We want
Mhm.
glass.
Right.
Preoccupied,
Correct.
avoidant attachment is drawn to a variety of partners but may struggle in relationships, exhibit both preoccupied and avoidant tendencies, finding it challenging to balance there. I ran out of space.
Because that one is literally the opposite of itself. The preoccupied slash anxious, and because the anxious they attract the avoidant. So you're literally like two in one. You anxious and avoidant at the same time. It's like lots of trust issues there, lots of stuff going on. Yes, you exhibit those traits, and it's definitely going to be a challenge in trying to balance it. Just off the strength of, again, those two are opposite, and you have the opposite in one person, not even one relationship, in one person. That's definitely going to be difficult. Like, not only do you have to pick a struggle, you got to fix that struggle too, twice.
But it's all trauma based. It seems like it's all trauma based, and trauma is different for different people. You have some children that got put on punishment for the smallest infraction.
Mhm.
I'll just use myself as an example. I got put on punishment for the smallest infraction. You could never do anything right. Um, and I processed that the way I processed dealing with my mom and my upbringing was I tried to find understanding in the other person. So it's like trying to understand, why is this person so discontent? I didn't necessarily internalize it and be like, oh, I mean, I saw the spiritual side of it, but in the natural side of it that you live day to day, it's like something is going on with that person. And so if something is going on with the person and they are, say they are schizophrenic, and they rage at you for 2 hours or whatever, you process that differently than they just was raging at me because I did something wrong. You see what I'm saying? See how you
No, I
process
get it,
things differently?
but we live in a world where, and I've definitely fallen victim to this myself, whereas though we take it personal. This person is doing this towards me versus this
Yeah.
person got some stuff that they haven't dealt with yet.
Hmm.
And it's like, why is this person acting this way towards me? And I've done nothing but just show you love and try to be there.
Right.
Not realizing you've been hurt all these many times.
Hmm.
And showing love is a trigger for you because it's like,
Hmm.
you showing me this, you want something, you're going to do something to me, or you
Hmm.
try to get my walls down.
Hmm.
So eventually something going to happen. And it's like,
Hmm.
what?
And
But that,
that's it. Why people don't consider the other person? Why do they always just take it personally? If I meet somebody and they have these traits, and you see
Mhm.
them struggling to be in a relationship, my first thought is going to be something must have happened to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something must have happened to them. My first thought is not going to be me, 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 myself, what you said to me, how you make me feel. That's not going to be my first go to. My first go to is going to be, something, this person is in pain. Something's going on with this person. So I can't take it personally because they want to rage for 2 hours. Maybe that's how they process their emotions. So why do people automatically internalize it? And even as I'm talking about as a child, all the way, I can go all the way from a little child all the way up until till I, got married and left home. I could go incident for incident. I could bring you stuff. I could tell you stuff that you would ask me like, why you not? You should be crazy right now. But I just never take anything that people say personally. I never take it personally. I always see that person. I always see that
Mhm.
person, and I always say something's going on with them. Like something's going on with them. And I always just feel compassion for the person because it's not normal behavior. So why take it personally?
They don't know no better. I mean, I'm older now, and a lot of stuff I understand, but going through certain things, no, I immediately got taken personal. Like again, you're giving me your attitude, you're giving me your emotions. So why? What did I do to you to trigger this? I've been nothing but good to you, and this is the thanks I get. Not
But that's what
realizing
they're
again,
doing. They dumping their emotions on you
yeah,
so they won't have to deal with it.
yeah, no, and yeah, I recognize that now, but back then it's like, nah, straight taken personally.
Dismissing preoccupied attachments, drawn to a variety of partners but may struggle in relationships, combine dismissing and preoccupied traits, making it difficult to establish consistency. So, what's preoccupied traits?
Avoidant per se. Some people say avoidant, some people say anxious. It's just preoccupied behavior, and you have dismissive behavior. Yeah, they are attracted to a variety of different partners and multiple partners because when you're dismissive and preoccupied, you don't want to deal with you. So the less you have to deal with you, the better off it is. And if you do have that monogamous relationship where it's like, okay, I'm trying to do this, it's difficult because, again, expressing emotions is weird. Being anxious isn't quite enough. So it's like you're trying to establish a connection, but you're everywhere with it. I can't necessarily connect with you, but we'll connect on certain things, common things. But when it comes down to the deeper things, nah, because you have to address that.
But people not going to connect with you if they don't connect with themselves. It's a disconnect with them. They
But
have to
again,
disconnect.
if they're dismissing, that's not that they're trying to put that on somebody else.
So that means they have no awareness then.
A lot of these don't have awareness. A lot of them, if not all of them, and some of them that do, whether it be the avoidant, the dysfunctional, and I think it's possibly the fearful, um, they don't know how to deal because the whole thing is dealing with emotion. The whole thing is dealing with the thing that is in front of you. So if I can't deal with the thing that's in front of me, how do I address it? Then it goes back to the behavior of this is just who I am because they can't fix or not trying to fix or don't know how to fix who they are or who they've become.
And the thing that's so crazy about it is that these are the main people that want to be in relationships, but you're not relationship material. You're not marriage material. You gotta fix this stuff. You can't take all this into no marriage. You can't take all of this stuff into no healthy relationship. You gotta fix this stuff. This stuff has to be dealt with. It has to be faced. You gotta this. It has to be processed correctly. There's a correct way. You have to start to understand, like I said in the beginning, your thoughts is what controls your emotions. Nobody can make you feel anything.
Mhm.
Nobody can make you feel anything. I don't care what they say. I have sat and listened to somebody just rage at me for hours, and I didn't hold on to any of it. I didn't hold on to none of it. And I'm talking, I could go from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 19. Childhood, whole childhood. I dealt with this my whole entire life. But I processed it differently because I sought to understand. And when I didn't have the vocabulary to express it, I'm like, well, let me go with somebody that's smarter than me and get some understanding about what's going on here. Okay. So these are the people that want to be in relationships, but you're not ready.
Yeah, I know that. It's like you want this thing so bad, you feel as though you're ready, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to make it work with someone, some way, somehow. And then when it fails, it's like you don't even deal with the fact that it failed because it's for you it's a cycle. Hey, you're here, we're happy, we're going out to eat, we laugh, we joke, and then eventually we don't. And then I'm on to the next. It's like it literally is your turn.
That is a horrible way to live. Compulsive attachment drawn to individuals with controlling tendencies exhibit a strong desire for order and control in relationships and often attracted to partners who fulfill these needs.
I swear it's the opposite, like every time. Every time. Compulsive. I've never heard of that one, but it's literally self-explanatory. Like, although it's compulsive, and compulsive is like spontaneous, you just do it because whatever. You attract someone who wants to control everything
Hmm.
because it's your opposite. It's almost like you attract people who,
Have what you're missing.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. So it's like you need to control this, but granted, sometimes controlling isn't a bad thing. Sometimes, not all the time. If you
Controlling
just control,
yourself, not controlling other people, controlling
yeah,
your
no, 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 yeah,
own.
yes, yeah. Okay, so let's stick with that. So yes, controlling yourself is a good thing all the time, but
Right.
trying to control other people, because again, if you're compulsive, you're everywhere. Your deal is like, hey, let me buy this, let me do this, I can go here, I can do that, I can do that, and then you have somebody who's like, what's that in the house? I don't need to buy that. I don't need to buy that thing. I mean, I can afford it, but I don't need it. Vice them actually controlling you, telling you to go sit the hell down, and they over here putting baby in the corner. It's not good luck.
Child, this subject is so good. We got 10 minutes left. So we got, let me see how many we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got like 11 left. We're not gonna get all these, but let
Yeah.
me see. Let's do this one. Let's do hostile dependent attachment drawn to dominant or controlling partner. Exhibits dependency, but also express hostility or aggression in their relationships. Like, what kind of environment does these people have to be in for this?
Suppressive. You were in a hostile environment. You're in an aggressive environment, and this is what you see, and all that stuff gets suppressed. And now here you go. You you get into a relationship, and now those things, those behaviors, are now being exhibited again by you, not you, but by you, because this is just the things that you saw. These are the things that that hey, this is okay, this is all right. I've witnessed my mother do this. I've witnessed my father do this. I've witnessed someone in my family do this for so long, and they just stayed. Like, no, that's not a thing. Having a controlling partner, a dominant partner, yeah, nah. First of all, that's not even a partner. Let's get that addressed now. Uh-uh. Like, controlling people want control because they want to have a certain outcome. So growing up, let's just say you wanted to do a certain thing or play a sport, but you weren't allowed to. So now that plays a part in your head and in your decision making. So when you make your decisions, you kind of give the option that you win either way. But it's really more so about you because typically controlling partners are selfish. They're all for self because they want to be in control of said thing and they want to see this thing through. So you can get the, yeah, I told you this is going to happen, so on and so forth. Yeah, this is how it's going down. Yeah, because you had your hand in every part of it. Uh, Even when they go to work, same thing.
I was
Controlling.
going to say that you got a lot of supervisors that don't have no control at work, I mean at home, and then want to come to work and just be just all hostile and
Yeah,
controlling because they don't have
because
no say so at home.
yeah, because that's what some of them thrive on. They probably not all of them, but some of them. So it's like wherever they can get control, wherever they can establish some sort of dominance, they're going to.
Right. Insecure, resistant attachment is drawn to inconsistent or unpredictable partners, struggle with trust, and exhibit resistance to intimacy due to past experiences of inconsistency. So it's just the same thing. It's like toxic drawn to toxic. Every last one of these is toxic drawn to toxic. And until we learn how to process emotions, process our childhoods, process this stuff, we basically you have to learn how to relinquish a lot of I want to what did I want to call the show? Grudge, what is it? Grievances, gripes, and grudges.
Grievances. Yes.
Grievances, grievances, gripes, and grudges. You have to let go of the grievances, the gripes, and the grudges and the things from your childhood. You have to process those things. One of the things that we did in ministry is we would stand in proxy for people, like sometimes like if their parents was deceased or something like that and they had like really traumatic experiences, we would stand in proxy, as that missing, whoever that missing parent was, or sometimes we would have them write a letter, to said parent or whoever the person was, and then either burn it or, throw it away. But it at the end of the day, it has to be dealt with. It has
Yeah.
to, or if not, you're just gonna keep attracting toxic people into your life.
Because you're gonna track the opposite. You're gonna track the opposite of what I'm sorry, you're gonna track the thing that you are either looking for or what you need. Like literally the behaviors cancel out every time. It's very rare that you have two of the same, like it's like two anxious attachments or two avoidance or whatever. Like it's very rare that would happen. If that does happen, I don't know how that relationship gonna work. Like it's probably gonna be short lived unless there's this, understanding of, well, we just don't talk about feelings over here. But again,
Oh, what
no,
kind
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. But it's like somebody, it comes down to a point where it's like sacrifice is a thing. So we just sacrifice talking about real world stuff.
But that's not healthy.
No, it's not. But for some people, unhealthy works. I don't know for how long.
It don't work for how long. It don't. You just end up with two miserable people. You end up with two
Yeah.
unhappy people that's just in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship, just so they won't be by themselves.
Yeah, no. Uh-uh.
Yeah, we probably, if we do one more, it's gonna go over. So you probably gonna have. Well, let's start. Let's see if we could. Let's end it on a good note. So let's do
Okay.
the secure dependent attachment is drawn to secure or nurturing partners, possess a secure base, but also rely on their partners for emotional support, finding balance in their relationships. This is the
Yes.
goal.
But that takes time. Yes, it takes time. It takes understanding because we often get into, not all of us, but some of us get into these relationships and we just assume our partner knows. Like when I need this. And like, and truth be told, we're not mind readers. We don't know. So taking the time out to understand them and how to, I don't want to say deal with them, but how to interact with them, how to do things with them that it doesn't set them off. You're not, you embrace the nurturing. You embrace the hugs. You embrace the talks.
Hey,
You. What's
girl.
going on, Auntie?
Where you been, girl?
But no, it's like they come in and they know. So it's like, okay, I know what this relationship needs. And again, it was you, Ma, who told me that when you're in a relationship, it's three people in a relationship. It's you, it's them, and it's the relationship. So understanding not only what this person needs, but also understanding what it's going to take for this relationship to work and what it takes for both partners. I know what I need. I'm going to provide what I
Miss
need.
you
I
too,
always miss you too. So yes, that's secure is going to be the way to go every time.
so yeah, it's definitely the way to go, but it's not the way that people go. But that's the goal.
Yes,
That's
that's always going to be the goal. That's the goal, always going to be the way to go. Um, with all things, you got to have understanding. You have to have understanding. There has to be a compromise. So you have to have the hard talks. You have to go in saying, "Hey, I'm not only am I in this, I'm in this for the long haul. But what do I have to do?" And there's levels to this. There is levels to it. Level one might be level. The crazy part about it is like level 1 through 5 is hard. After like 5 and 6 and all that, things start to get a little bit more easy, especially if you're paying attention to your partner, you're understanding them, and you've seen them through the different seasons and how they act, how they react, and how they do certain things. And then you can adjust accordingly. And you're also within that time frame of seeing them through the seasons, you're building the trust. You're understanding strong points, you're understanding weak points, you understand where you need to come in, where you don't need to come in, and you're not micromanaging the relationship. You're allowing them to do the things that they need to do not only for them, so they can be secure within themselves, but also within the relationship. Which don't be checking up on everybody 5 minutes. Don't get mad because I didn't respond to you within 10 minutes of a text. Like people be busy. People have lives. People have things going on.
don't you have to like find security within yourself? I'm always
You
about everything starts with you. So if I understand myself, it's easier for me to understand my partner. So if I have security within myself, I'm not putting all these pressures and expectations on you. If I'm secure within myself, so it's like how you believe in the one and I don't believe in the one. I believe in
Mhm,
being the one. I'm the one. I am the one. I exhibit all of the characteristics that I want to see in my
mhm,
partner. I exhibit all of those characteristics. So if I exhibit all of those characteristics, then that's what I'm going to attract to me. So if I'm looking for the one, I have to first be the one. I am
mhm,
the one. Okay, so we're so busy, wanting to fix everybody else when we haven't fixed ourselves. Fix you.
mhm.
Fix you. Process your emotions. Deal with why people make you feel something. Nobody can make you feel anything. You have a thought. Your thought brings up an emotion. Your emotion is telling you what's going on inside of you, not me.
Mhm.
You. Fix you. You be the one. Be the one you looking for. Be the one.
No, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna close this up by saying this: people who exhibit and or say this is just how I am, they're not going to change. I mean, you can't change them because that's who they're choosing to be. Now, again, granted, if you're just saying something drastic like you need to change, A, B, C, D, and it's again, you're just saying that for you personally, it's not going to work. But people who are like, well, this is just how I am. I've been this way for 30, 40, 60 years, whatever the case may be. They, they set in their ways. They ain't looking to change. They don't care. They don't. When it comes down to these attachment styles, you can't go in and tell someone else, oh, I feel as though you're an avoidant, this and that. It's not going to be received.
Mm-mm.
It's if you can't tell, like, people have a hard time with you telling them or giving them constructive criticism about them and them not taking it personal. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing that you can do is you can recognize that within you and then start making ways to get out of whatever attachment style you're in, anything other than secure. But we gonna continue this, the rest of them, next week.
We only got like four more. We only got like
We
four
keep it
more,
in there.
but they all, it's all the same. It's toxic. You just gotta, process your emotions. Deal with your whatever your childhood stuff is. Let that stuff go. Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go, because it's not gonna serve you. It's in the way, and you can't get things done because you got all this stuff in the way. You holding on to too much stuff. Gotta let it go.
You
Let
do
it
have to
go.
let it go, and stop using it as a crutch or and as an excuse, so you don't have to change.
Right.
We're not children anymore. If you, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm a stand on it. If you can identify it, you can fix it.
Right.
If you recognize that this is what it is, you can take the time out to actually fix it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for showing up. Well,